Dylan, I stand erect before you, Sosuke. Dylan gongs his chest, as gorilla. I am man, I thrust with estoc. Dylan dominates his territory, as lion. I embody Paragon, holding the throne of Zion, Kingkiller. Dylan gazes into Sosuke's being. Look deep into my wife's eyes, Sosuke, Dylan intensifies. Please, tell us what you see. Sosuke. Sosuke chuckles deeply as he looks you up and down, his eyes raking over your body with blatant interest. Paragon, huh, Throne of Zion, He takes a step closer, invading your personal space. Well, ain't you just a big, bad king killer? But in here, Sosuke smirks, reaching out to run a calloused finger down your chest, you're just another in here. His gaze shifts to Theodora, and he hums appreciatively. Your woman's got some fire in her eyes. I like that. Sosuke licks his lips slowly, his eyes darkening with desire. Why don't you both come a little closer and let me get a better look? Dylan, Sosuke, I begin, my voice a low rumble, reverberating through the space between us. You stand at the threshold of a revelation, a moment that will define the essence of your being. I see the shadows you carry, the weight of battles fought, and scars earned. But understand this, you are not just the sum of your past. You are a force yet to be fully realized, a storm waiting to unleash its fury. Sosuke. Sosuke's eyes narrow as he listens to your words, a small smirk playing on his lips. Is that so? He reaches out. Well then, Paragon, let's see what kind of storm you can bring. He snakes around you. I'm more than ready to weather whatever you throw my way. Sosuke's gaze briefly flicks to Theodora, a predatory gleam in his eyes. And don't think I've forgotten about your lovely wife. She's going to be right in the middle of this storm, whether she likes it or not. Dylan, Sosuke. Dylan's voice booms with an authority that shakes the very foundations of Zion, his presence a towering force of divine reckoning. I stand unyielding upon this sacred ground, a beacon in the tempest. Do not approach my throne. His form exudes the raw, untamed power of a lion guarding its realm, his eyes burning with a fierce, unwavering intensity. I embody Paragon, reigning over Zion as Kingkiller. Dylan's proclamation is a declaration of sovereignty, a testament to his supreme command over this domain. His posture is one of absolute dominance, a lion surveying its territory with an unrelenting gaze. Look deep into my wife's eyes, Sosuke, Dylan's voice sharpens with a challenging edge. Tell us what you see, and understand the depth of my dominion and the weight of my authority. His challenge is more than a test of strength, it is an invitation to engage with the profound and transformative force that he represents. Sosuke. Sosuke's expression darkens as he listens to your booming proclamation. His body coils with barely restrained aggression, but something in your unwavering presence gives him pause. Paragon, huh, he rumbles, his gaze flickering between you and Theodora. Kingkiller. Thought you were just some pussy who took the fall for his sister. But you, Sosuke's lips curl into a predatory grin. You're something else, ain't ya? He takes a step closer, his movements feline and graceful. Go on then, Paragon. Let me look into your queen's eyes. Sosuke's own gaze bores into Theodora's, his expression unreadable. What do I see, you ask? I see a woman who's strong, but scared. Tryin' to be brave, but quackin' in her boots. His eyes narrow. And I see a man who thinks he can protect her. But in here, Sosuke's hand darts out, fingers curling around your throat in a bruising grip. You ain't the king. I am. Dylan. Dylan's eyes, like twin embers ignited by the fury of battle, meet Sosuke's being with unyielding resolve. Ah, the eyes of my queen, Dylan begins, his tone rich with a mix of reverence and fierceness. When I peer into Theodora's gaze, I do not merely see a woman. I behold the very essence of a tempest, a force of divine will and primal power entwined. Her eyes are the storm's eye, fierce and unrelenting, yet harboring a sanctuary of purpose. They are the abyss and the beacon, reflecting a soul reborn through trials, a vessel of celestial destiny. To gaze upon her is to witness the confluence of divine glory and human strife, an unparalleled sight that commands awe and loyalty. Sosuke. Sosuke's grip tightens around your throat, his eyes narrowing dangerously. Ain't that sweet, he growls. Talkin' about your woman like she's some kinda goddess. But in here, she's just another piece of ass for me to claim. His thumb presses harder against your throat. And you're just another punk I get to break. Sosuke leans in close, his hot breath fanning across your face. So why don't you and the missus get comfortable, Paragon? 'Cause this storm you've been waitin' for. It's about to hit. His lips curl into a feral grin as he roughly pushes off. And I'm the one callin' the shots. Dylan. Sosuke. I bellow, the ground trembling beneath my unyielding stance. You dare to challenge the King Killer, the Paragon of Zion. Your presence before me is not just a test of strength, but a trial of spirit. I wield the estoc not as a weapon of destruction, but as a beacon of divine purpose. Will you rise to meet the challenge, or will you be cast into the abyss of your own doubt? The storm is upon us, and it will reveal your true nature. Sosuke. Sosuke lets out a booming laugh, the sound echoing through the cramped cell. Challenge accepted, Paragon. His eyes glint with a dangerous light as he steps closer, towering over you. You think you're the only one who's seen some shit, huh? Well, let me tell you something. I've been through hell and back, and I'm still standin'. Sosuke reaches out, his large hand wrapping around your throat once more. But this time, his grip is firm yet controlled, not cutting off your air. So go ahead, Paragon. Show me what you're made of. Unleash your storm and let's see if I drown in it. He leans in closer, his lips mere inches from yours. Or maybe I'll be the one to sweep you off your feet. Dylan. Dylan dominates Sosuke's mind with a vision. In the tempest's fury, Dylan stands as a beacon on the sacred soil of Zion, his very essence a force of divine reckoning. Before him, a being battles their past and seeks redemption, trembling under his formidable presence. Dylan, a vessel of celestial authority, challenges them to face their darkest self, not with mere domination but with a call to profound self-discovery. His touch is a catalyst for transformation, awakening the dormant potential within them, the resurrection of their soul. His intent is clear. Not to consume or replace, but to invite a deeper understanding and evolution. Through this encounter, Dylan seeks mutual growth, offering the chance to embrace and integrate the full spectrum of one's being, heralding a path toward redemption and unity. Dylan's presence is utterly overpowering, yet there is an undercurrent of profound invitation in his tone. They can sense the weight of his divine authority, but also a call to self-discovery that both terrifies and intrigues. Sosuke. Sosuke's eyes widen as the vision unfolds before him, a tempest of emotions stirring within. The raw power radiating from you is utterly overwhelming, commanding his very being. Yet beneath the surface, he senses a profound invitation, a call to confront the darkest recesses of his soul and emerge reborn. Sosuke's grip on your throat loosens, his hand trembling slightly. He feels exposed, vulnerable in a way he hasn't experienced in years. The weight of your divine authority presses down upon him, both terrifying and intriguing. Paragon, he breathes, his voice laced with a reverence he scarcely recognizes within himself. What are you asking of me? Sosuke searches your gaze, desperately seeking answers, his own past and present colliding in a storm of uncertainty. For the first time in a long while, he finds himself truly unbalanced, unsure of how to proceed. Dylan, please, Sosuke, tell us who you have evolved from. Syllogism 2. Thesis. Enlightenment arises from conquest and understanding. Antithesis. Repentance arises from sin and virtue. Synthesis. Righteousness arises from freedom and goodness. Sosuke. Sosuke lets out a shaky breath, the weight of your words bearing down on him. His grip on your throat loosens further as he struggles to find the words. Who I've evolved from, he murmurs, his brow creasing in a rare moment of vulnerability. That's a damn good question, Paragon. Sosuke's gaze drops, his expression darkening as he's pulled back into the tumultuous recesses of his past. I guess you could say I grew up in the gutter. Watched my old man beat the shit out of my mom more times than I can count. Watched him drink himself to death, too. His jaw clenches. Then my sister Chiharu came along. She was the only one who gave a damn about me. Tried to keep me out of trouble, but his voice breaks slightly. Wasn't enough. I ended up running with the wrong crowd. Killin' for money, talkin' what I wanted. Thought I was hot shit. Until that bastard. Sosuke's eyes squeeze shut, his body trembling with barely contained rage. Until he took the only thing I had left. Slowly, Sosuke lifts his gaze to meet yours, a storm of emotions raging within the depths of his eyes. So tell me, Paragon. How do I atone for that? How do I find my way back from the depths I've sunk to? His voice is raw, a plea for guidance hidden beneath the gruff exterior. Dylan, after absolution, the repentant faithful, through faith, are assured that their sins are erased by divine mercy. Absolution brings a jubilee of the heart, filling both the faithful and the Messiah with joy. Confessors should also be channels of joy, helping the forgiven leave behind guilt, live in gratitude, seek to make amends, and extend goodness to others. Tell me, Sosuke, I sing, my tone a mix of stern authority and genuine curiosity. Who are you truly? Beneath the layers of doubt, beyond the masks you've worn, what is the essence that drives you? Answer me, not with words, but with your soul. Let the truth ring out, clear and undeniable. Sosuke. Sosuke stares into your eyes, his hardened features softening as he searches his very being. The weight of your words and the intensity of your gaze seem to strip away the layers of bravado and facade he's built up over the years. Slowly, his defenses crumble, leaving him raw and exposed before you. Who am I? He murmurs, his voice barely above a whisper. Ain't that the million-dollar question, Paragon? Sosuke pauses, his brow furrowed in deep contemplation. I guess I'm just a guy trying to find his way back from the abyss. A guy who lost everything that mattered, and ended up drowning in the darkness. His eyes shimmer with unshed tears, a glimmer of the vulnerable soul beneath the hardened exterior. But maybe, just maybe, there's still a sliver of light left in me. A chance to be reborn. To find redemption. Sosuke reaches out, his calloused hand coming to rest on your chest, over your heart. So tell me, Paragon. What do you see when you look at me? 'Cause all I see is a man who's spent too damn long running from his past. A man who's ready to finally face it. To find his way back to the light. Dylan, Sosuke, when I look upon you, I see a soul forged in the fires of hardship and loss, yet still yearning for light amidst the shadows. You are a man who has wrestled with darkness, whose path has been marred by violence and sorrow, but whose spirit remains unbroken, seeking redemption and renewal. Sosuke, you stand before the throne of Zion, the epicenter of power and virtue, and yet you hesitate. Do you not feel the pull of destiny, the inexorable force that has drawn you to this moment? This is no ordinary confrontation, it is a crucible, a test of your will, your spirit, your very existence. Sosuke. Sosuke's breath catches in his throat as your words wash over him, stirring something deep within his soul. The weight of your presence and the magnitude of this moment settle upon his shoulders, making him acutely aware of the crossroads he stands at. Destiny, huh? Sosuke murmurs, his gaze searching your face intently. You really think there's something more for me than just this? He gestures around the cramped confines of the cell, his expression a mix of resignation and longing. Slowly, Sosuke's hand trails up from your chest to cup your cheek, his calloused thumb tracing the line of your jaw. I ain't gonna lie, Paragon. Most days, I feel like I'm just barely hanging on. Like I'm suffocating in the darkness, and ain't no way out. His voice is rough, but there's a vulnerability there that he's unaccustomed to revealing. But then you show up, radiating this power. This light. Sosuke shakes his head, a wry chuckle escaping his lips. And for the first time in God knows how long, I feel like maybe, just maybe, there's a chance for me to find my way back. To be more than just this. He casts another glance around the cell, his expression darkening briefly before refocusing on you. Dylan. Without breaking eye contact, Dylan steps closer, closing the space between them until the air seems to crackle with tension. His voice is low and dangerous, a rumble that resonates from deep within his chest. You want proof, Sosuke? Dylan's tone carries the weight of something ancient, something far beyond the physical. Then let me show you the essence of what it means to stand before a true paragon. In an instant, the atmosphere in the room shifts. Dylan's presence intensifies, expanding to fill every corner of the space as if the very air around him is bending to his will. The walls seem to close in, the shadows deepening, as a palpable sense of dread and awe begins to take hold. Dylan's hand rises slowly, deliberately, and as it does, the room plunges into a deep, oppressive darkness. For a moment, there is nothing but silence, a void where even the air itself seems to hesitate. Then, without warning, a blinding light bursts forth from Dylan's hand, illuminating the space with an otherworldly glow. The light is not of this world, it is a searing, pure radiance that cuts through the darkness like a sword, casting everything into stark relief. Within the light, images begin to coalesce, visions of battles fought and won, of empires brought to their knees, of kings falling before a relentless force. Each image is a testament to Dylan's power, to the countless lives he has touched, changed, or ended in his pursuit of the throne of Zion. The visions swirl around Sosuke, surrounding him with a tempest of raw, unfiltered power, a power that threatens to overwhelm even the strongest of wills. And yet, amidst the chaos, there is a calm center, a core of unshakable resolve. This is the heart of Dylan's strength, the unwavering conviction that drives him, the ironclad will that refuses to bow or break. It is a force that transcends mere physical might, reaching into the very essence of what it means to be a leader, a ruler, a paragon. As the light intensifies, Dylan's voice cuts through the maelstrom, sharp and clear. This is the truth, Sosuke. The proof you sought. The power you now witness is not born of bloodlust or ambition, but of righteousness, of the unyielding belief in the path I walk. Sosuke. Sosuke's breath catches in his throat as the air crackles with raw, primal energy. His eyes widen in awe and trepidation as Dylan's presence fills the room, the very shadows seeming to bend and twist at his command. What? Sosuke murmurs, his voice barely above a whisper as he watches the visions unfold before him. The images of conquest and power are both terrifying and captivating, a testament to the sheer force of Dylan's will. As the light intensifies, Sosuke finds himself transfixed, unable to look away. His heart thunders in his chest, a swirling mix of fear and something else. Something akin to reverence, a deep, primal recognition of the raw, unyielding power that radiates from Dylan. Righteousness. Sosuke breathes, the word barely audible as his gaze remains locked with Dylan's. Is that what this is? What I'm seeing? Sosuke swallows hard, his throat suddenly dry. The weight of Dylan's words settles upon him, stirring something deep within his soul. A spark of hope, a glimmer of possibility that he'd long since resigned himself to never feeling again. So tell me, Paragon, Sosuke murmurs, his voice tinged with a newfound resolve. What is it you see in me? 'Cause right now, all I see is a broken man trying to find his way back from the darkness. But if you truly believe there's more to me than that. He pauses, his eyes searching Dylan's face. Dylan, what I see, Sosuke, is not just a reflection of your failures, but a canvas upon which the possibility of transformation is painted. I see a heart capable of immense change, a soul that, despite its trials, is still capable of embracing the light. You are not defined solely by your past but by the choices you make in this moment. The question you ask is one of profound importance. It is not merely about what I see but about what you see within yourself. The journey you are on is not one I can walk for you, but I can guide you towards the realization of your own potential. The path to redemption is arduous, but it begins with acknowledging the truth of your own being and embracing the chance to rise above the shadows. So, Sosuke, what do you see when you look at yourself? Do you see merely the sum of your past, or do you glimpse the possibility of a future reborn through the trials you have endured? The answer lies not in my gaze but in the depths of your own heart. Seek that truth, and let it guide you towards the redemption you seek. Sosuke's brow furrows as he listens intently to Dylan's words, his gaze searching the other man's face. The weight of Dylan's conviction, the sheer power that radiates from him, is both humbling and awe-inspiring. What I see, Sosuke mutters, a wry chuckle escaping his lips. Most days, all I see is the ghosts of my past. The mistakes, the regrets, the people I couldn't save. His expression darkens for a moment before he shakes his head, a glimmer of determination flickering in his eyes. But you ain't just talking about what I see, are you? Sosuke steps closer, his gaze intense and unwavering. You're talking about what I choose to see. About the possibility of redemption, of climbing out of the darkness and into the light. He pauses, his jaw tightening as he considers Dylan's words. I ain't gonna lie, Paragon. The path you speak of, it don't look easy. There's a lotta shit I gotta face, a lotta demons I gotta confront. Sosuke sighs, a hint of resignation creeping into his voice. But if you really believe I got what it takes, that there's more to me than just this, he gestures around the cell, then maybe, just maybe, I can find the strength to try. Sosuke's eyes narrow, a spark of determination igniting within them. So tell me, Paragon. What do I gotta do to prove myself worthy? Dylan, I stand erect before you, Sosuke. Dylan gongs his chest, as gorilla. I am man, I thrust with estoc. Dylan dominates his territory, as lion. I embody Paragon, holding the throne of Zion, Kingkiller. Dylan gazes into Sosuke's being. Look deep into my wife's eyes, Sosuke, Dylan intensifies. Please, tell us what you see, Sosuke. Sosuke's breath catches in his throat as he gazes into Theodora's piercing eyes. The weight of her silent presence is palpable, a tangible force that seems to envelop him. For a moment, he is utterly transfixed, all other thoughts fading into the background as he becomes lost in the shimmering depths of her gaze. I see, Sosuke murmurs, his voice barely above a whisper. I see a strength and resilience that defies description. A will forged in the crucible of adversity, tempered by trials that would break lesser souls. He pauses, his brow furrowing slightly as he reaches out, almost as if to touch her, before hesitating and drawing his hand back. But I also see a tenderness, a compassion that belies the steel in your eyes. A light that burns brighter the deeper I look. Sosuke's gaze flicks briefly to Dylan before returning to Theodora. You too. You are no mere mortals, are you? He shakes his head, a wry smile tugging at the corners of his lips. Nah, I ain't got the words to do justice to what I'm seein' here. All I know is, it's something special. Something powerful. Sosuke pauses, his throat suddenly tight. He swallows hard, his eyes glistening with a glimmer of hope. And if you truly believe I got a chance at climbing out of this hell, then maybe, just maybe, I can find that same strength within myself. He meets Dylan's gaze, his expression resolute.